The insight-driven organization is one that has total awareness, total consideration, total alertness, and total confidence about how it steers itself, protects itself, reacts to turbulence, and ensures its survivability and sustainability. By learning how to swim against the tide and manipulate large amounts of data and making sense out of the dynamic and complex aspects of the broader mega business environment, an organization will most likely be able to survive and prosper. Knowing, for instance, how to exploit the signals derived from different data sources and diversifying the source of obtaining and making use of different datas in order to read the signals, understand the messages, and proactively take action. Furthermore, learning how to nurture the future through experimentation and allowing discovery to take place would mean that the availability of data must be a source of inspiration and taken advantage of as what can be termed as a natural laboratory that will allow the organization to learn and see the future as it happens. Experimenting with tools, whether it's imagery or video analytics, is a good way of interpretation, learning, assimilation, and looking at particularly unstructured data and how can it be presented. And this allows bigger insight and supports the intuition-based decision-making particularly, and using data for real-time consideration and real-time decision-making in order to generate real-time impact by focusing particularly on velocity as a way of bringing down the value of data as it is made available. So real-time is fresh consumption from the source, and it is a powerful way of being relevant and being confident about steering and controlling the future destiny of the organization. Putting it all together, therefore, an insight-driven organization is one that displays all those characteristics and behaviors. It's an organization that has data consumption and analysis at its core. It's one that diversifies, blends, acquires from known and unknown sources. And it's one that is prepared to move forward with velocity by real-time behavior. It is one that has a decision-making process that is decentralized, that is robust, and that is confident about the future of the organization. It is one that has different levels and structures for refinement and value creation to the organization through data manipulation and analysis. So an IDO is one that has data management as its core, not only by learning how to manipulate and use large volumes of data and convert them into measurable business value, not only an organization that creates a competitive advantage by putting into good use all of its data assets. It is not only an organization that can work with improved speed and measures the quality of its decision-making process and eliminates errors in decision making and hesitancy or incomplete deployment of decisions that affect the organization. But also it is one that transforms itself, one that disrupts status quo, one that challenges itself, and one that is proactive in its outlook and does not wait for crisis or respond to possible threats. So the overall insight that it gains all the time represents the senses that help the organization steer itself and respond accordingly. It's also one that measures the robustness of its analytics capabilities and the usefulness of those capabilities in delivering with current requirements and delivering on an ongoing basis and deliver to a level of distinctiveness. It is one where the infrastructure, the systems that support that, and its core activities and business processes are totally driven in an intelligent manner through advanced analytics. An IDO is also an organization that allows its culture to be redefined in an evolutionary basis so that it becomes data-driven and insight-based. It is one that replenishes its technological strength by constantly allowing investment to take place in digital capabilities. And also it's an organization that puts agility as a precondition for its success so that it can respond to the disruptiveness of technology and modernize itself and renew itself in order to remain relevant. Lots of reasons why an IDO is an enterprise that can impact significantly through data and analytics. And some of the most specific reasons are related to using the power of data analytics for guiding its vision in a better way, whether it is planning, budgeting, and resourcing strategic initiatives. Other reasons are to do with ensuring that it is capable of preventing obsolescence from taking place and always remaining relevant. A third reason is perhaps the closeness it builds with its stakeholders and particularly customers by integrating their voice into the value creation activities through co-creation and collaboration, and by gaining better insights and comprehensive intimacy that will allow it to project future needs and always be proactive in its demeanor and its ability to deliver value. It's also an organization that puts learning and development as a continuous cycle, and with the rapid change and the level of disruptiveness, it's an organization that takes knowledge as a commodity product and constantly offloads and absorbs new learning and new thinking and new methods. An IDO is also an organization that knows how to position itself and treats its competitive advantages in relative terms by constantly disrupting and creating better value to its customer base. And it's one that projects its future and works for making it happen, not only through predictions, but also through exploiting opportunities and ensuring that it can disrupt itself for the benefits of creating a better future. This is all enabled by making humans more powerful and more able to trigger the cognitive skills, the inquiry mind, and the ability to deal with complex phenomenon, and using the challenge of complex data for making better decisions, and using all the human faculties that can support effective decision making. So data-based insights can only act as a trigger mechanism for humans to make better decisions and be proactive and deal with situational challenges using rationality, objectivity, but also intuition in order to generate confidence in the decision-making process. There are different strategies for organizations to become insight-driven, an incremental approach and a radical disruptive approach. The incremental approach is to learn through phases of development and transform the organization so that it has the right mindset, the right culture, the right skills for dealing with data analytics, the right infrastructure, and also the well-defined strategy for being data-driven. The radical approach is to disrupt the organization and create a new insight-driven organization by phasing out everything within the organization and creating a new DNA and a new mindset. Nonetheless, the best way is perhaps to use what we can refer to as the Eclipse Phenomenon. By gradually phasing in the data analytics perspective and phasing out the mechanistic and traditional approach to looking at data and performance excellence. Through a blended perspective, the power of analytics is allowed to be pervasive and allowed to permeate within the organization, and an acceleration of the momentum of transformation will make the fusion possible. The perfect fusion, therefore, is not to throw the baby with the bathwater by doing the radical scenario, but to be transformational and use the right mindset for the perfect fusion. But ensuring within that the focus of creating the new organization is not necessarily to deliver the short term, but also to use data for bigger and better insights, for gazing into the future and focusing on the discovery and exploitation.